viewers, Barry here. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a couple weeks, but you know, just been working on a few things, homebrewing wise, / been busy at work. So being that today, Monday, April 7th, is National Beer Day, I just cracked open a can of the Alchemist Heady Topper. So cheers to you guys. Oh yeah, pretty good. I've had it for like almost a couple of weeks, so it's not as bright and dry hoppy, but overall I think it's actually changed a bit. Like the first couple times I had the Heady Topper, it blew me away, and I think it's changed over the years because it doesn't have as much juiciness as I remember. And I think that I've heard that there's some batch to batch variability with this beer based on the availability of the hops and which generation of the yeast strain they use that you get. But overall, it's still a really good double IPA. So, I did bottle my 2 1-gallon batches. You may have seen the picture on my Facebook page, on the Brewed Palate Facebook page, or on Bubbles and Chalk, or Twitter, or whatever. So I got 6 bottles out of the porter and 7 out of the ESB. I could have gotten another bottle out of the porter, but I had some issues with the siphon, so... But I did get to drink a little bit of about 6 ounces or so of it after I finished bottling, so that was nice. And it came out great. But the ESB, on the other hand, didn't come out as I would have liked. I would have liked it to be a little less hoppy and a little sweeter, but it was just a test batch, and I did put the temperature probe on the porter, so I guess that's why it came out better. But anyway, so I'll probably tweak that ESB recipe and then, you know, try another 1-gallon batch before I brew any bigger of a batch. But the porter came out great, so once I try it in a few days, or maybe after Passover, which starts a week from Monday on the night of the 14th of April, you know, if I try it afterwards, we'll see. But overall, I was happy with the beers, and if they can condition for like an extra week, because this Thursday will be 2 weeks, you know, what's the worst? They'll condition for another week or two, and it'll be perfect. Those aren't really 2 styles that you have to really worry about the hop character. So I guess I'll include a couple clips of the bottling at the end of this video. But a few things. I am coming up on my beer number 1500, the 1500th beer I've tried. I have like 3 or 4 beers left. So that's why I have this bottle of Surly 6 out. I brought it back from my cellar that I keep at my parents' house in Jersey. I believe it's a couple of years old already, at least a year, if not 2 years. Surly 6, the 15% beer, and it's aged with like 6 different types of wood. They made like a honeycomb out of thin pieces of wood, and then aged the beer on it. So I've heard it was really hot and very wood forward when it was first released. So that's why I put it in my cellar. And I might make this one of my last few beers towards the 1500. But I have a bunch of epic beers already, and I wanted to bring an aged one into that I haven't tried. So that's why I brought this one home with a nice red thick wax, and should be a pretty good beer after a couple of years in the bottle. Then you also may have seen, just for another update, you also may have seen a picture on Facebook that I did get custom caps for the Holy Inn Brewing Company. I ordered them off bottlemark.com. They do make a killing on you. It's like 15 cents a cap, but I ordered a lot for my big batches, and they have other caps for my smaller batches, and you know, they came out great, and I'll definitely, you know, be designing different caps, you know, one maybe with a Brewed Palate logo, stuff like that, because they came out great. And although there's like a waiting list because it's first come first serve on that site, it was still very worth it. So here, I don't know if the camera will focus, but that's kind of what they look like. Maybe I'll take another picture and you know, for better quality, and you'll get a close up. But they came out really nice. I'm really impressed how well the detail came out from my drawing of the logo. for the Holy Inn Brewing Company came out. And I would definitely recommend bottlemark.com. I know a bunch of brew tubers already use it, like Zippy. So, you know, cheers to Zippy for the idea, and they definitely came out great. But I definitely want to do a Brewed Palate logo one at some point. Then, because I haven't posted Homebrew Wednesday in a couple weeks, I also really haven't been posting enough on my blog either. I'm kind of neglecting it a bit because I've started a new job at the end of February, and I've been like, you know, really tired when I come home, and you know, a little unmotivated to post. But I started writing an article about the Bitter and Esther's Homebrew Shop monthly bottle share, and I went last week, and it was really fun again. And I got I recorded some quotes from people, so I'm going to be putting that all into an article and posting that soon. And I'll probably post a link in this video because I'm probably not going to post it Monday night. I'll probably wait till Tuesday night or Wednesday to post the Homebrew Wednesday anyway. So maybe I'll post a link to that article. I'm probably gonna wait till like Sunday, April 27th to brew my SJ Pour beer, because it's a hoppy beer, and just because time-wise, that's, you know, where it fits into my schedule to actually brew it. But I'm still second guessing myself whether I want to participate, just because part of my love of home brewing is sharing it with my local home brewers. And if, you know, I already have to, if I, let's say I get 42 or 43 bottles, because all the dry hopping, I'm definitely not going to get I don't know if I'm going to get 48 bottles. You know, I love sharing my local home brewers, and if I progress within the competition, you know, and I have to dedicate a whole batch to, you know, to it, and then, you know, I don't know if I really want to do that. But, you know, it's really stupid to think of it that way, because you never know how far you're going to progress, and you are still sharing it with a lot of people. So, you know, we'll see. But I guess you guys can give me your thoughts on you know, what if you had the dilemma of dedicating a whole 5-gallon batch, especially for you guys who don't keg and brew as often as people who do keg and have that, you know, rotation availability in your pipeline of your brews. So that's it for this week. I know I'm trying to jam pack a lot of little updates, but that's what's going on. You know, 1-gallon batches in the bag. You know, planning for a beer 1500, planning for SJ Pour, trying to drink up all my hoppy beers before Passover when I can't drink beer for 8 days. And yeah, everything's going well. So again, happy National Beer Day. You know, you'll see this after, but you know, hope you all drank some good beers for National Beer Day, and hope to see you guys a little more regularly starting, you know, after Passover. All right, cheers. All right, guys. So I chose to bottle the ESB just to get the rhythm down of how the system was going to work to bottle for my 1-gallon demijohn or 1-gallon carboy into the bottles. What happened was I wasn't able to create a siphon with the bottling wand on my big siphon, the siphon that's made for bigger fermenters. So what I did was I have this clamp at the end of the hose, and I would fill up the bottle and then clamp it when I start filling up. I mean, it made me lose a little bit of beer here and there, and I had to pour some into this glass, which is pretty cloudy because I poured some of the beer off the top of the yeast cake, as you can see, into the beer towards the end, so that's why it's pretty cloudy. But if you look in there, you can kind of see what color it actually is, like a nice straw to light gold or orangey color. But you know, here obviously it looks a lot darker. To me, the flavor is not really that great. It's very like plain, maybe has a little off flavor in it, not very clean tasting. That's probably because I had some of the yeast from the way bottom. But overall, I'm not so impressed with how this fermentation went. But we'll see how it goes after it carbonates. So what I did was I filled the other bottle, put one of these carb tabs that I bought off Northern Brewer in there, capped it, and then at the end, let's see, I got 7 bottles here. I wrote, with the best of my ability with a Sharpie, ESB 32714 on them. So, you know, we'll see if it goes smoother with the porter, and how the porter tastes. I remember when I tasted a little bit, you know, afterwards, like a week in, because it's like a week and a half or a little over, like 11 days in the fermenter, the porter was tasting pretty good, but it had like a pretty dry finish, which I wasn't really going for. So I'm gonna go bottle up the porter and then come back with a wrap up, just like I'm doing with this one. Alright, cheers. Alright guys, so we're here for a wrap up. I had another few boo-boos with the porter. I lost control of the siphon at one point and got a little on the floor and a little bit into the Star San bucket, which is turning the Star San dark brown, as you see. But we're done pretty much. So I got 6 bottles of the porter. I was hoping to get at least 7 or 8, but there's still some beer over the top of the yeast cake, which is bigger on this beer. But just take a look at the proximate color. It's like a really, this is a little cloudier, but because it had some stuff from the end, some from the beginning, so, but it's still a pretty nice dark brown, and the aroma is very dark, very chocolatey. Not much hops, but very, very chocolatey. It's just really nice. There's a touch of astringency in there, but I think that's just because of the mixture of different parts of the carboy. But beyond that astringency, which I hope will age out or won't be present in the bottles, it's a really chocolatey, good tasting beer. So I'm probably going to try a little bit of that little bit that's still in there and see how it comes out, how it tastes. But overall, pretty good tasting porter, very chocolatey. So I guess I'll see you back for updates on this beer when I actually taste it in a couple weeks. Alright, cheers.